Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, it is afternoon, and I might have snacks somewhere. So, welcome back to Morgan's lazy Sunday afternoon productivity stream, where sometimes we're productive and sometimes we're not, but we usually have snacks. With me today, I have Doc Coleman and Catticus, who has been leaving me alone until I hit go.
Of course.
So, say hi to the nice people, Doc.
Hello, nice people.
Yay. And let's
And the
see.
rest of you.
Andy's back. Hello, Andy. I hope
Yeah.
you've just been busy and things are going okay for you. And Mint is here. Hello and welcome. So, yeah, we're here. I was thinking about doing some day job stuff, but then I started to read another book, so I might just read
Uh-oh.
the stream. Yeah, I've been feeling out of it this weekend, and I have 6 hours of sick leave available, so maybe resting and hydrating is where I need to be.
This could work, yeah.
So, I put on makeup so I would look less undead.
There might be a whole fan group for that undead look, but hey.
So, hello, Victoria Talks Writing, and welcome. So, speaking of, I had new followers this week that I think I'm supposed to say something about. My latest followers are Phoenix, Jason Huang, Crabberay.
Crabberay.
Right? Skywinter Books, and I think the others were a couple months ago. But these are my latest followers in the ticker below. Y'all are awesome. I like people coming in, hanging out with me. Otherwise, I wouldn't live stream, especially when like nothing else is still happening in my writing life.
Yeah.
So bouncing to
I'm just dealing with life as a crabberay, old friend.
Right now, I want something with crab dip, right?
Yeah, it sounds like a very Maryland version of the song.
I mean, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
grew up in a town that had like an annual crab festival, and like it wasn't 90% Old Bay, so like deviled crab is delicious.
Without Old Bay? No.
I know. I tried Old Bay chips and almost died. I'm like, I like Old Bay, I like crab cakes, but like, I'm not a Marylander. I'm a Virginian, and we don't go that hardcore on Old Bay. So Andy said he's been busy, lots of conflicts, but he is here and he's trying to focus on editing and looking less undead himself.
Yeah. Yeah, Andy missed the writers group earlier today because he wasn't feeling well. So I'm glad to see that you're here. I hope you're feeling better.
Same.
But yeah, writers group was a little sparsely attended today, but I tried to remind you, but I think I left it too late.
Oh no, I saw it. I just shamefully didn't reply because I've done nothing other than the Balticon stuff, and I have no plans this month. So I just avoided it out of, guilt, shame spiral, and also, can I finish this book before my live stream?
Okay, that last one I don't blame you on, but I was hoping that we might help you with your I don't want to call it a writer's block because you're not actually getting to the writing part, but
I'm just burnt out and I need rest and recovery, and that's where I am. And the creepy pasta or the reassuring thing about your writing is it will always be there waiting for you whenever you're ready to come back to it.
Yeah.
I mean, the market might have moved on, but I don't think the market was in the right place for my stuff in the first place, so it doesn't matter.
The market might move back to where it needs to be for your stuff to actually sell, but
exactly. So one of these days I thought about it. I thought about opening up a document, but then I have a guilt shame spiral over how far behind I am on day job stuff. Anyway, once day job and I feel comfortable for more than 2 days in a row, I think I'll start working on it. But yeah, so
okay.
Green Ruled, hello. Are you a first timer? I can't remember if you've been here before, but hello and welcome. And I'm sorry if I forgot you. Andy said yes. Right? It's gorgeous.
Yep.
Because I love that movie. what was the name of it again? Onward? Was that Onward?
I can't remember.
Yes. Haha. I am correct. Okay. Yes. So Andy says, hydrate, folks. It's really important on especially on days when it doesn't seem that hot. Yeah, I've been, and
I think part of the first sprint is going to be getting ice and hydration.
yeah. My new ADHD meds make me more dehydrated, and I'm usually, prone to dehydration in the first place, and usually drink 6 cups of water a day, like 16 ounce. Yeah. So, but less so since I've been working from home, and less so since Catticus has started drinking out of my cup and knocking it over if he can't reach the bottom.
Bad Catticus. Bad.
Oh, remember how I said, look at this. Look at this. He bruised me. He scratched so hard and got like 3 marks up here. And like superficial stuff on my arms. But like, I'm sorry. Catticus assertively reminded me that the feel away was out and he needed his nails trimmed on Thursday.
Aha. I was going to say, it's like your cat is the abusive boyfriend you don't need. No.
He is, but he's also an emotionally deregulated toddler who doesn't speak English. So we have a communication thing, and I can't explain to him what's going on. And he just lashes out when he's cranky and hasn't had enough attention. And I'm making excuses for my abusive cat.
Yeah.
But he also like purred on my lap for 6 hours. So like there is affection too. Yeah. He adores me. He just also wants to play rough with me, not necessarily when I am expecting to play. So if I get the head jump on it and don't go more than 2 or 3 days without running him up and down, we're usually okay. But the Feel Away plugin's refreshed. His nails have been trimmed. He got his gushy food today, so we're all good. So Duan is here. Hello. I'm popping back to comments. Miranda made it. Hello, Rita. It has been a while. Outward. Okay. Thank you. Outward. I was so close. So close. Thought it was onward. But let me tell you, Google came back completely with outward. Despite me just like all the Google responses. And I'm like, oh, hey, that's the picture. So Green World says that dogs are toddler, cats are teenagers.
For the most part, that's true. That cats are semi-sullen teenagers, but yes, I'm with Morgan that Catticus is a bad attitude toddler with sharp pointy claws on the end of his fingers.
Murder mittens. I think we call those murder mittens. It's the thing about a 3-nager throwing a tantrum, right? You've heard of 3-nagers when they're 3 and they're acting like teenagers, all crumpy and grumpy?
I have not.
Okay, it was onward. Okay.
Yep.
Andy says, I've met some grumpy old man dogs. Yeah. And they don't realize that 50% of that is being hangry. So Duan says, I have a bad attitude toddler who doesn't speak. They are a thing. Oof, that's rough. So what about a sprint? Do we want to sprint and like get something to drink? Because I thirst.
A sprint definitely is going to involve hydration here. So
yeah. So I mean, this is a Sunday lazy afternoon stream. I'm going for water, but no judgment on whatever you feel needs to fulfill your thirst needs. I'll fix that in post. That sentence was a little repetitive.
This is not a thirst trap. This is just thirst satisfaction.
I hadn't heard that one before. That was glorious. We're not a thirst trap. We're thirst satisfaction. I want to do a TikTok with that and then just chug a cup of water. I might have to do that because as we all know, Morgan is easily amused.
Yes. Hey, Lady Neo.
Hello and welcome. We're about to jump to a sprint. People pop in what you're working on, and we'll go ahead and get started. So let me do the whole screen sharing thing, where I also remember to share my audio tab so you hear the timer and not just me randomly talking to you. So, okay, and let's go ahead and get started. Wait, what? What's happening? Oh no! Trying to move the timer out of the way, and my screen decided it wanted to be half the screen. It was horrible.
There we go.
Traumatized. So, anyway, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom. Chakalaka laka. Hydrate. And we're back. So, how was your sprint?
Well, most of my groceries have been shopped.
Excellent.
And I managed to get myself some cold hydration and do a quick bio break, and actually sat down and got some editing done. So,
Ooh. I
didn't get much of anything, but I managed to pack a lot in there.
Sure. I topped off Catticus's food bowl, and he tried to convince me that second gushy food was a thing, while like his today's gushy food is less than an hour old and was still 2/3 full.
Mm-hmm.
I told him second gushy food was not actually a thing, and I believe your response was,
with a feline yell, he cried, "More, more, more!"
pretty much.
Yep.
So he also invited me to play, and then he upped the aggression, and I told him to go away.
Yep.
So I read a chapter and a half and drank some water. So solid break there. Let me pop into the comments just as we were going on break. Dwan said, "For everyone who watches and is thirsty, drink the water."
Yep.
So, Mint, 40 more pages of reading for class. They've read 150 pages of textbook today. Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
So ready to be done. The goal was to finish the reading for that specific class.
Yeah, especially when you consider that most textbook reading is deliberately dry.
Yeah. So Patrick said that the plague has been going around. Oh no, hopefully not at your house. Eek. Oh no, you have the kids home for the summer. Eek.
Ugh.
So
this is not the plague you're looking for.
Right? Yeah. Sarah swung by and is doing her lurking thing. She had a video go up today talking about overcoming loss, finding inspiration to write again. So I'm definitely going to be checking that out today. So let's see. Catticus came by and Andy said hi. Patrick talked about how three-nagers turn into four-nados.
Mm-hmm.
So Rita read the last few paragraphs that she read a few weeks ago and added like 200 words. Awesome. Victoria is making scene cards in preparation for the 24-hour novel challenge. I wish I was a marathoner. I'm not. So
is the idea there to write a whole novel in 24 hours?
Maybe.
That
Unclear.
sounds excessive.
It sounds like something for either someone who's like a speed writer or someone who like is an intense planner. Unclear.
Yeah. So. Someone who writes faster than I do.
Yeah. As I've said before, I've done over 3K in a single day 5 times ever, hit 4K once, never 5K. So like 10K days, not me.
Yeah, but the one day I hit 5K was definitely take the whole day off from work and write instead.
Yeah. Okay, Victoria says, yeah, it's a novel in 24 hours. That's, I mean, people who can marathon write, like, I bow before you. And I've heard for most 24-hour novelists, there is a lot of prep work. Most of them don't just show up and run for it. So Victoria's writing a script instead. So heavy on the dialogue and stage direction, lighter on the internal monologue. I think that's why script writing has never really appealed to me unless it's got a lot of fourth wall breaking, because the internal monologue is my favorite part, and subtle facial expressions just aren't enough. So Lady Neo is working on editing chapter 1 because it's a mess. I mean, that's what chapter 1s do.
If it's a first draft, of course it's a mess. No.
Yup. So
that's its job.
To be messy and let you figure out what the story is and who the characters are and what the setting is. So oh, big yawn. Ooh, Victoria says that Victoria has trouble describing facial expressions, so thinks the script will help her. So,
Okay.
Does the emotion
Fine.
thesaurus go into facial expressions?
I know not. Not do I know.
Like, I mean, it's amazing, but I think
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. Uh, Let me look at a page sample. I keep meaning to pick it up. I mean,
Mm,
friends with Angela Ackerman, one of the authors, but
yeah.
I haven't yet. Oh, they're not giving me an inside? But yeah, no, it also yeah, it like, the first
That
bullet
is
is language cues, thoughts, and visceral responses for 130 emotions. So yeah, I highly recommend checking out the emotion thesaurus if that's something you struggle with. So,
okay.
I will shamelessly link drop. Oh, wait, I have, like, an affiliate link that they're considering kicking me off of because I've made $3 ever, and they don't pay you till you get to 100.
They don't pay till you get to 100? Sheesh.
Yeah, yeah, as I said, it's not really a thing, but yeah, so
See, that just seems wrong. It's like, you've earned $99, but you haven't made it through the threshold, so we're gonna can you because you're not productive enough in selling our stuff. And
I
we're gonna keep
mean,
your money.
yeah, so
Yeah. Oh, and Victoria says she got that for her birthday.
excellent. Okay, so maybe I don't need to link drop, shamelessly link drop. I could
You
just
can link drop it
regularly
for other
link
folks,
drop.
though.
Sure, sure, yeah, but I think there's, like, a whole series about it. Sorry, it keeps asking me for my pen. It usually wants my face. Um,
Don't we all? No.
aw. But, whoop, Control F5. There we go. Really? When I hit the click, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. It's been a while since I've done that. I had to log in. So, somebody's trying to sell viewers on Twitch. Let me get rid of them real quick
Yeah.
because that's not the kind of show I run, but I appreciate the effort. So anyway, yeah, it sounded like everybody got had a great oh, I only replied to Twitch. Let me whoop, whoop. There we go. So yes, that's totally what that was. Um sorry, I'm really bad at oh my god.
Thank you.
Am, am I not logged in? Why are they not letting me boot this person? Block. There we go.
There we go.
Blocked. Okay. Where's the delete the chat? I don't even remember. Sorry, I'm not very
Oh,
good at moderating my own Twitch stream. Very bad at it. So, uh, um, what do y'all say about another sprint?
it's kind of what we're here for.
I think we're here for it, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll get a second cup of water.
Ooh.
I mean, we don't want to be overly hasty, but
Nope.
so okay,
The
let's go
ants
ahead and
would
get
not approve.
right. Let's go ahead and get started in a 3, 2, 1, boom. Oh, and Lady Neo blessed your sneeze.
Yes, I saw that and appreciated that.
Boom chakalaka. And that's our second sprint. So Doc is probably putting away groceries because it's Sunday. So let me pop into the comments. And we start off with a rant from me because I keep running into people using the word kneeled in books. And I prefer the more archaic knelt. Some of it is standardization, some of it is people just conjugating words based on patterns they know. And some of it is they hate me. It's a personal vendetta against cool, non default conjugations. I like snuck, I like dreamt, I like, all those things. So, anyway, shake fist at Sky. Tessa swung by. Hello. Tessa is way behind on her daily prompts. Not sure if she will get to her memoir at all today. Oh my goodness. Fingers crossed. Hey, Carrie. Good to see you. Carrie is tuning in from work. Good to have you here. Hello, Dreaming is lurking, cleaning the house and cutting the grass. Nice. Nice. Oh, yeah. Grass cutting used to be fine for me. And then I got put on thyroid meds and now I overheat in like half an hour. So more power to you. Sarah showered and made it back in time. Yay. And let's see. Rita is with me, prefers Nelt to, thinks PWA changes it, and got another 200 words in. PWA? Progressive Web Apps. Let's do PWA writing. Public Works Administrating. PWA Wrestling School. Pro Writing Aid. Pro Writing Aid, probably. Oh, Process Writing Approach. Professional Writers Alliance. Princeton Writing Academy. Professional Writing Academy. So, Pro Writing Aid. Okay. Yeah. So, and Carrie empathizes with overheating based on being on thyroid meds. Yeah. So Andy has completed 8 pages of revisions. Snaps. Yay. So how was your sprint? I assume groceries arrived and they're being put away.
Groceries arrived. They are now put away. And before groceries arrived, I got some editing done.
Nice.
Still rearranging the way that things happen in the end of the scene so that they work more logically, but
Gotcha.
I'm happy with where they're showing up now.
Nice. You missed my rant on kneeled instead of knelt. But now you're all caught up.
Yeah. Knelt, dealt,
snuck, dreamt,
sneaked and crept do have a place, but it's present tense, not past tense. Yeah. It's a present participle, not past tense, but
yeah. Are we going to do
others are just abominations?
Are we going to do drinked next? I drinked it. What? No.
No, I mean, you drank.
Drunk. I was drinking. I was drunk last night. I think drunk is never going away. Drunk can't go away.
Yeah.
Drinked. I was drinked last night.
I think drunk will always stay just to represent that state of inebriation.
Oh yeah. I got into an argument. No, I got corrected, quote unquote, by somebody on the internet because I was asking if anybody ever pronounced the H in honest, or do we just blame the H, Latin for the H? And one person was like, that was a very lame homonym joke. Why didn't you just Google it? And I'm like, homonym joke? What are you talking about? And they're like, oh, I meant homophone. I'm like, let me define those terms for you, Mr. Retiree.
It's like, what else sounds like honest?
I'm like, I would just thought it was funny imagining people saying honest, but if you want to overcorrect me wrong, feel free. It's a free internet. You
I
can be
mean,
wrong.
there's a difference between pronouncing the H and over pronouncing the H. If you say honest versus honest versus honest.
Right. And of course, it goes over for all of the apparently a Greek professor friend of mine was telling me that the Romans didn't actually have an H either, but they stole an accent mark from the Greeks that emphasized or represented that kind of breathness. Because the Greeks did it, they thought it was cool, not because they necessarily pronounced it. So yeah, it was elitist trying to be elite when they were standardizing spelling. And everybody's like, oh, they stole it from the French. And I'm like, where do you think the French got it from? Has a French person ever pronounced the first letter of like any word? No. The French are not going around saying honest.
The first letters, the last letters, they do not pronounce these. No.
You want to know how to spell oiseau, which is their word for bird? I'm sorry, I need to double check. Yeah.
Enlighten us.
It's pronounced oiseau, and this is how they spell it. Whoops. I copied, and it's not trying to. Why is it not copying? Copy. Paste. Oiseau. Oh, the French. Yes. But romantic language thing. Yes, we gotta blame the Romans for it. I mean, obviously, Latin. It's totally Latin.
And of course, everyone knows it should be Wazo, right?
Right. So, popping back to the comments, Dwan got back and is updating the website. Raven swung by. Hello and welcome. And Dwan said it would be overdrinked for drunk.
Double plus unsober, right?
Wazoo. Yeah. Sorry. I'm just remembering the last time I got accused of being overdrinked, and I said no, it's just past midnight and I'm running on adrenaline, people.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you get. Might be a lot of sugar. I think, yeah, it was the second night of Baltagon. The first night was Dad's wedding. The second night was my party. And people had just gone down to help me wash out the two crock pots of meatballs.
Yes. The two empty crock pots of meatballs.
Yes. So step one, I got gluten-free meatballs in one. So my roommate who was helping assist our photographer, Sako, could have some. And I had one with turkey meatballs because Sako doesn't do beef. And neither of them got meatballs.
Yeah. Because Sako completely forgot the fact that you had brought turkey meatballs, so there would be meatballs she could eat.
No, she was looking forward to it. She just forgot to like actually get around to getting them for the first 2 hours of the party, and then they were gone. And my roommate, her kid went to bed, and so she decided to stay in with her kid and not hit the party. So legit parent things.
So I had not realized that she was there. I'm sorry that I missed her.
It's okay. I didn't see much of her. So yeah. She helped out with masquerade photography a lot, caught some random photos here and there, and kept an eye on her 9-year-old. So
as you do.
Because her 9-year-old didn't know anyone and, was 9 at a strange place. So like if he'd had like people he knew, he'd have been fine. But 9 and up, assuming that they were comfortable and that the parents, recognize that they are mature enough to be on their own, because some 9-year-olds are mature and some 9-year-olds are not.
Yeah.
And some 9-year-olds, it depends on the day and their emotional cope level and how much else has been going on.
If I would have realized that while
Mhm.
we were there, I would have tried to introduce her to Greg and Carrie Seidman,
Oh.
because Greg always volunteers,
Mhm.
and they've got 2 kids, and I think the youngest one is about that age.
Ah.
And they're usually there, and they usually cosplay, but Greg and Carrie
Yeah.
are safe people to
Sure.
leave your kids with if you, like, need to go off to a panel or something.
I was gonna introduce her to Megan's kids, but I have only seen them
Mhm.
on Zoom, so like I didn't recognize them in the wild. Megan being head of registration and also works, and I shoved off the publicity head title to her last year for
Okay.
BalticCon. So I've worked with her extensively, and I trust her and her kids. And her kids are like the right age, but I don't know them, so I couldn't
Mhm.
introduce. I'm like,
Exactly.
I think that's them, but maybe I don't know. And what which one goes with which name?
Yeah. But
Uh,
it's kind of the thing of, these are people that we know
yeah,
that we could contact
yeah,
for Lucy to get to know people there,
yeah, yeah,
that her kids can also get to know their kids,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not completely lost in a sea of strangers.
Yep, but he went, and a lot of
Mhm.
times when we host events here or with friends, and even kids he's known and played with as a kid, he'll very often sit in the corner and play a Switch anyway. For Halloween, he did that for like 4 hours, and then came out for like 3 hours to carve pumpkins, and
Mhm.
then went back to his room. Like, but he went to the children's programming and made things and like
Cool.
Legos and Minecraft and enjoyed things. So I was very, very pleased. So he thought it would be a good idea for him to bounce up and come back the next day, maybe so he could stay in his own bed. But he gets car sick. And I'm like, no, no, I'm getting you a hotel room. So
Yeah.
that got sorted. Anyway, popping back to the comments, Dwan said, shout out to 1984 with double plus.
Yep.
Raven says that French is internationally a word search disguised as a language because they're very much of the opinion if you know, you know, otherwise you're not actually French.
And that's intentionally, not internationally. So the French are doing it to you just to mess with you.
Intentionally. I'm sorry, I misread.
Intentionally,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. So, and Mint totally agreed. I took French in high school because I was like, I take ballet. I know all their verbs, which I did. But yeah, I
Yeah, I took French in high school as well, and yeah,
so
didn't use it so
there's a
much.
thing called the SAT twos that are subject specific, and I think like the score at the time went up to 800 for the subject specific ones, and I took the
Mhm.
French one, and I got a 412. I think I
Uh,
flunked. I think I
yeah.
flunked the SAT twos in French. I think
Oh,
I
well.
flunked. But I decided I knew enough French that when I got to college and there were 4 required semesters of a foreign language and they would not
Mhm.
let computer languages count, which is just stupid, uh, that I could skip the first semester and be okay. And I was.
Yeah.
So. Let's see. Tessa just finished a prompt using 8 words to create a story, plus, 400 plus words. So 8 prompts, 400 words
Okay.
total. And Mint took Japanese in high school and thinks it was easier than French. Yeah, yeah. So one of the things they always warn you about in French and Spanish, especially, but maybe the other Romance languages, are the false cognitives. At least I think that's the term. Words that
Okay.
sound like an English equivalent but aren't actually.
Yes. It
So
it sounds like it should be this word in English, but it's actually this other word in English. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, definitely. I actually shared a story on the Book of Faces based on a similar concept of a person reading about summer camp and trying to
Mhm.
translate it from English into their language. And the number of misunderstandings they had were many.
Mhm.
so many. And I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I can't find it. But anyway, it was hilarious, and I'm sorry you missed it.
Oh, well. Now, my understanding about
here it is.
Japanese. Oh, never mind.
Okay, sorry. All the kids had cool American names like Jill and Mike, and they talked about chipmunks, and I didn't know what they were, and I pictured them as scrawny wolves. I'd read Little House on the Prairie, and therefore I knew wolves were a major concern for Americans. Camp counselors were often mentioned, and, my pocket English dictionary defined counselor as, psychologist.
Or lawyer.
So I thought it was weird how American summer camps had dozens of psychologists, like one for every 5 to 10 kids. It felt like a lot. Didn't know that the word pet could mean favorite, and had a very interesting mental picture of the camp counselor's pet. The kids slept in bunks, and the dictionaries defined it as couche, which maybe it should have been couchette, but couche is our word for diaper. So I was deeply, deeply intrigued by American kids who are excited about camp because they get to sleep in diapers. I had never encountered the word baseball before, but I managed to guess it was a sport. But when I heard baseball diamond, and I heard it was a big baseball diamond, I thought it was like a winning diamond that you would get. Like a ring,
only in
right?
the pro leagues.
Right? Another thing that the book said every kid should bring were batteries. And I didn't look it up because I knew the word battery was a drum set. And there's your false cognitive, right? Yep. False friend. Yeah. So I was impressed to learn most American kids own a drum set and bring it to camp as an essential item.
Mm-hmm.
And
because it powers all their music, right?
Right? And when it said that many of them brought comic books, I thought it was joke books. So I thought it was hilarious. So good to have you, Andy. Have a good dinner. Thanks for making me dinner. Wait, no, you didn't make me dinner. Oh, well.
Shame on you.
Maybe next time. So anyway, it was hilarious, and I laughed a lot. And I reread it to you just now, and I continue to laugh a lot because, as we know, Morgan is easily amused.
So I was just going to say, what I've heard about Japanese is because it's a tonal language, is that if you can mispronounce something just a little bit and change the meaning wildly.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are...
I have no good examples of that. But
yeah, I don't speak Japanese. So, yeah, I mean, there are words in English that are very similar to words that have other meanings. And English speakers are so sarcastic that many words have become their own antonyms. And that's why we have the term contronym, like hilarity.
Yeah. Well, we don't just do that with words. We do that with phrases. Like the whole thing about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. That was originally
talking about how impossible it is.
Yeah, a sarcastic remark about trying to do an impossible thing, and now it's become a synonym for being independent, self-sufficient. And it's like, no, it's still trying to do an impossible thing.
But like sometimes I have just left a party, and sometimes there are 2 cupcakes left. One means they're still here, and one means they are gone.
They're gone. Yep.
So like, yeah.
There were 2 cupcakes left, and I came back, and now they've left.
The word to cleave. Does it mean to cut something in half, or does it mean to cling to someone?
Do it. Yep.
Dust. Dust is, you can dust something with a sprinkling of cinnamon or powdered sugar, or you can dust to get the dust away.
Yep. You could dust to add something or to remove it. Yes.
Right. To overlook something. I overlooked and totally forgot, and accidentally booked the wrong hotel, whatever. I overlooked is, overlooking is like supervising. We have sanction.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes they sanction something, which means they approve, and sometimes they sanction it, and that means you get punished and penalized. So anyway, I don't need to list all of them. I just think it's hilarious.
We don't have a long enough podcast to list all of them.
Right? Yeah. Carrie says Irish is similar when a mispronunciation can change the meaning. Yeah. There are also people who use the wrong synonym and break a sentence because they look in a thesaurus and they're like, I've used this word too many times, let me get a new one. But they don't get the they don't get the, what's the word I'm thinking of?
They don't get the nuances?
Yeah, but it starts with C.
The context?
Yeah, well, sure. We'll go with context for now. But
context is king.
Yeah. So Tuan is like, this is the most learning on this show. I kind of dig it. Yep. I mean, I'm a writing geek. I'm a word geek.
I have a large vocabulary.
I was talking on my socials this week about how apparently doing the Scholastic workbooks during the summer is not a universal experience. And like after we aged out, which is like 5th grade, maybe 6th grade of the summer workbooks, Mom just pulled like her old grammar textbook and had us do stuff on gerunds. That's apparently not a normal summer experience. Who knew? Connotation. Thank you, yep. Dawn. I love you. Connotation. I told you it started with a C. Carrie's like, why are you calling me out? I used to do that on my school essays. Yeah. Yep. Wrong synonym. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I'm writing, I have thesaurus.com open on one of my tabs, but my mom called me out for being too precise with words because sometimes the right word takes away from the story if it's not often enough used.
If it's something that your audience isn't familiar with.
Exactly. Yeah. Which goes back to the whole first pages party I did at Balticon, where like the agents and editors raised their hands on the word chartreuse. One of them because they totally forgot it was a shade of green, or it took them like 30 seconds to remember that. Yeah. And also because the sentence was talking about how the dead were there, and maybe that was the part of the sentence we needed to focus on, but the word chartreuse was just too distracting.
Yep. So. It was it was an interruption in the flow of the sentence.
Yeah. You could do like an eerie green glow and get the similar feel. So that's a way that sometimes precision takes away from the flow of the story.
Yep. So I know when I was a kid, I always used to get picked on because I would use the precise word that I meant, and other kids would accuse me of looking up strange words in the thesaurus and trying to use them, and it's like, you don't know these words?
I mean, who hasn't had that experience? I get called out for using $3 words at the school lunch table. They're like, you're just trying to say that to make yourself sound smart. And then I stopped eating in the lunchroom and started eating in the foyer. And by foyer, I mean between the double doors.
Yeah.
Where there's just enough space for a radiator. My friends and I, we just sat in front of the radiator. And the year after unless it was nice out, and then we'd sit on the curb out front. And the year after I graduated, they put in picnic tables because we'd started a whole trend.
Excellent.
So like, I'm happy for the kids that came after us, but it would have been nice if we had the picnic tables when we were there. But we just sat on the edge of the bus lane, performing very, very important scientific experiments, like how many of those little mini straws that they give you so you can't do spitballs can you drink through at once? The answer is 21 anymore, and you don't really have even flow through all of them. Although maybe if you have a larger mouth, it might work differently for you. 3 is the minimum you can get a decent swallow out of.
Were you clustering them around each other, or did you have them flattened out in a line?
They were like basically coffee stirrer straws, and that's what they gave us.
But I'm thinking if you had them flattened out in a line, you could get as many in as your mouth was wide.
oh, they were multi-row, kind of like a round cluster, really. So yeah. That said, maybe if I talked to other kids, I would have been called off for $3 words. Yeah, getting me to shut up's always been the problem. Carrie used to use the double spacebar between words and triple spacebar between sentences if she wasn't quite at page count, but that got caught quickly.
Yeah.
Someone had to walk so others could run. And Raven said, I still get called out by coworkers for using words they don't know. I'm 50 and these guys are in their 60s. I get asked, but it's usually from coworkers where English is not their native language. And I mean, they're totally fluent, but I'm very extensively read. So, and a lot of them, they're extensively read, but more in like engineering fields. So aeronautics, whatever. So I'll be like, oh, let me tell you about the word. So, and as long as they're willing to, ask or use context clues, I don't care. And like my work is not a place that would mock or penalize someone for using big words. So, Carrie said, floof.
Yes.
Hi. Mandatory almost cat content.
There I have floof.
Excellent. And Dwan gets called out by the wife for the same thing. So I like using precise words. It fills me with contentment, satisfaction.
And it's all part of communicating.
It is.
But there's also the aspect of you have to know your audience.
Yes.
To make sure that you're using words that they understand.
Yeah. Because I want to convey a precise meaning. I don't want someone to feel bad about themselves or feel like they're being mocked. Although apparently if somebody tells you they don't understand something on the internet, they are apparently just effing with you. And if you explain it, you are a condescending jerk face. As I've been informed 3 times in the last month. I'm sorry. If you tell me you don't get something, I will explain it to you. Even if I think you're just kidding with me, because 90% of the time, these people are friendly associates or just strangers on the internet, and I don't know them well enough to know that they're kidding. And, if I do know you well enough, you'll know that I'm kidding when I explain it to you, and we'll have the right vibe. But, I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm just trying to take you at your word. I'm sorry. I thought you were honest.
Well, it becomes somebody says, somebody says, I don't get that. So you respond with, well, do you want me to explain it, rephrase it, or do we just want to move on and forget about the whole thing?
Yeah. No, apparently people think, saying they don't understand something is funny and getting it explained is condescending. And I don't get it. I'm sorry. I thought you were being for real and I didn't realize you were joking. Maybe italicize something or put a winky face.
Well, I mean, oh, I'm sorry. Were you lying to me in order to try to one-up me?
I'm a 90s girl. I'm a 90s girl. Bring on the sarcasm. Just, I don't know you're being sarcastic.
Yeah. I mean, well,
so
that's what gets to me is this isn't being sarcastic. This is pretending to be somebody that you're not. So that you can score imaginary points on someone who's just trying to be helpful. And that's just a jerk move.
Yeah. Or, yeah. I don't assume people in other countries know all the grades in the US because I don't know all the grades in their thing, you know?
Yeah. And odds are
Just
they think they do, but they've got something wrong.
maybe they do. I mean, TV and shows and stuff may have, totally filled in the gaps by now, but like I
I
tried.
just this weekend I came
Mhm.
across a whole bunch of videos that were uh, uh based on, German person things they get wrong about America. It was
Sure,
videos done by a German person who's been living in America for a while, dealing
sure.
with one of their friends, and it's like
Mhm.
talking about the thing, of the false friend type thing that they thought it meant this, but it really means
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, it's frustrating. And if I know you well, I'll know you're kidding, but I don't necessarily,
Mhm.
and I have to be in the right mood to assume you're being silly about something. I'm not trying to upset anyone. I'm just trying to make sure we all have the same context. And I think we all know oh, maybe we don't. So once upon a time, a friend told me that, a joke is funnier if you explain it. And I've been using that line for years.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, so I will explain a joke to you and keep laughing at it, like whether or not you understood it in the first place, but also to make sure people don't miss glorious puns or
Mm.
really really bad innuendo, whatever.
Yeah.
So
I have, uh, uh, taken up the support of obscure references. And the idea there is that if nobody gets it, you get no points. If
sure,
everybody gets it, well, everybody had fun, but you still get no points. So you have to do something, and it has to be with a group of people so that somebody goes, I got that reference, and somebody else goes, what? And it's like, yes,
right.
I've scored, and I move on.
Yeah. My dad does that a lot. He's like, "You got that reference, right?" And a lot of times I'm like, "No." Usually I'm like, "I think so. Can you refresh me?" And sometimes he's going on about stories about I'm like, "Oh, I think I remember this one." Because
I don't
dads.
know. And some people are so multi-layered with some of their puns. It's like, you got that reference, right? It's like I found 3 in there, and I think there's a 4th one, but I don't want to discuss it with you in a public forum.
Right. Dwan says, when he met me, he knew I was punny because I was wearing my Beauty and the Mark of the Beast cosplay. Like, I mean, you can't get
Yep. That's
uh,
that's when I
right?
when I first really met you, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Chase, and welcome.
Yep.
So, let's do one more sprint.
Seeing
Do you
as
want
we
to
have
do
the
a full
timer all
sprint or a
set and
part
everything.
sprint? I can go a little
Um,
over. Are
we
you
can go over. We can do another
okay?
full sprint.
Let's go ahead and do a productivity sprint. Eat snacks, hang out. You can be productive or not. It's up to
I
you.
have snacks.
In three, two, one, boom.
Chakalaka.
And we're back. So, how was your last sprint? Chase and I apparently started chatting in the chat.
Yeah, I saw the chat just flowing by.
we went to school together, so I knew him years and years ago.
I got some more editing done, knocking out a few more comments. It's a lot of going back over stuff again and again, but yeah.
Cool. I chatted, and I also got some port wine cheese, very nice.
Ooh.
And some saltine crackers, and applied the cheese to the cracker and put it in my face hole because it's delicious. So, what was your sprint stack?
I've got just a bit of popcorn left over from that huge bag of popcorn that I had before. So I've been nibbling away on that periodically. But
I think somebody at Green Rule asked if it was straight up corn.
No, it's popcorn. But it's getting down to the part where it's getting small enough. I almost feel like I need a spoon.
Sure.
But it's too small to pick up.
Yeah.
Well, not too small to pick up. Too small to pick up easily.
Right. Victoria had to bounce. I talked about all the dance I've been doing. Chase's buddy is making mead because mead is delicious. He asked what I've sold, so I link dropped shamelessly my one short story. But I realized that I said I mostly do cozy fantasy, and I forgot that one was a light horror, very light on the horror. But Mint finished her reading. Yay! Chase read my story and thought he enjoyed how I framed it. So that's awesome. Sarah thinks she finished editing her video, but has to rewatch, of course. Well, you got to rewatch and see how it flows,
That's fair. Yeah, you're not done till you've done that last view or listen to make sure it's done.
Yeah. Mint said, "Aw, thanks for this, friends. They always help make things on Sunday fun. Yay." Raven had dinner, and that was all he got done because it was such a big bowl of cheddar cheese and broccoli rice. Nom, 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 nom. And Tessa is still setting up the post for her blog. It's very long, using 8 different prompts that had to be recognized. So cool. Awesome. Sounds like everybody was super, super productive today. Or got through several chapters in the book they're reading because they're not feeling like working today or, this year. So let's tell people who we are and where they can find us. And I will, bug my brother-in-law because he hasn't posted any of my podcasts in like 3 weeks.
To finish the editing that he's contractually obligated to do?
Not contractually, just volunteers out of the goodness of his heart, but also he hasn't done in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
it's been a busy 3 weeks, but hey. So I am Doc Coleman. I write steampunk comedy adventure. If you're interested in knowing more about me or my writing, you can go to your favorite search engine and you can search on Doc Coleman Steampunk, and that will take you to my website at doccoleman.com. And it'll also take you to my Amazon author page where you can see samples of my work and look at it and decide for yourself if it's something that might be right for you or someone you love.
Excellent. And I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. I am a on hiatus blogger, vlogger, and podcaster of writing tips and writerly musings. And I'll be back next week with more writing tips and writerly musings. And I might have a podcast episode if my audio engineer has time this week. So if so, it's going to be taming your squirrels. Trying to the struggle of staying focused. So Lady Neo is almost done getting ready for work, and we'll see us next week. Yay. Sarah had fun, and Mint says good night, everyone. Okay. Y'all all same time, same place next week. Bye.